Alright, so all you're gonna need to start your bioplastic is any type of starch, cornstarch, potato starch, or just starch, vinegar, which is 5% acetic acid, glycerin, which is 99.5% pure, which is found at your grocery store, and water, preferably filtered or distilled water, but tap water works great too. Now in the video, I'm using the magnetic stir just so it can be quicker, but you can stir it by hand. Alright, my apologies, the audio got messed up, so I have to voice over, so what's in the video might not always match the audio 100%. It's like 75% correct, alright? Sorry about that. Alright, so first I'm gonna measure out my cornstarch. I am using Argo cornstarch for this. It's gonna be 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. So I'm flattening it out so it's exactly 1 tablespoon. Alright, after that you're gonna measure out your water, which is 3 tablespoons of water. Now since I'm not near a sink, I'm doing this really unprofessionally, and I have this little bowl with me and I'm spilling it everywhere, so apologies to that too. But you're gonna want to measure out 3 tablespoons of water for every tablespoon of cornstarch or potato starch, any type of starch. Alright, after you have this, you're gonna want to start mixing it up so it's not as hard. So some of y'all may recognize this as oobleck. That's why you want to start mixing it right now. Then you're gonna get a teaspoon of glycerin, not glycerol, just glycerin. And remember not to make little mountains with it, so it's exactly 1 teaspoon. Now glycerin is more viscous than water, so when you pour it in, you're gonna want to make sure it all gets in. It doesn't get stuck on the spoon. As you can see, it acts like syrup. So in the video I used my finger to knock it off the spoon, but you might want to just hit the spoon on the glass since it sticks to everything and it's really hard to clean. Alright, so now with the same teaspoon you used for your glycerin, you're going to measure out a teaspoon of vinegar, or 5% acetic acid. Now me being dumb, I tried to measure it out from the 5-gallon jug of vinegar and made a mess. So yeah, now I have to clean this up. Alright, so once your solution's been mixed thoroughly for enough time, it should look like milk, like skim milk, super thin milk. At this point, you're going to want to go over to your heat source, either a stove, a hot plate, a portable stove, whatever type of heat source you have. An oven won't really work for this. Actually, no, an oven will work. So yeah, go over to your heat source. Alright, so I'm here at the stove in a pan, and you're going to want to pour it into the pan evenly. Alright, now you're going to want to make sure your pan is either stainless steel, or iron. Pewter is going to turn all black and ugly, and copper will be oxidized by this since there's a weak solution of vinegar. Alright, so then I'm going to turn on medium heat and start mixing it around with a silicone spatula. You're going to want to make sure it's made of silicone, because plastic utensils will stick to it, and and just metal utensils will get all ugly and tarnished by this. So I am now going to stir it around. Alright, so after about 1 minute and 30 seconds of stirring, you'll see it starts to turn like, it'll start to clump up almost like putty. At this point, you're going to mix it around more so that it doesn't burn. So you can see parts of it are still liquid, so I'm just going to keep on mixing so it doesn't burn. Once it's all turned into this putty, jello type thing, you're going to turn off the heat. The smoke is non-harmless, but it does smell like vinegar, so if this bothers you, just take it outside. Alright, so at this point I got it off the heat, and I'm moving it over to my stainless steel tray. Silicone baking mat will work better. As it dries on the stainless steel, it is gonna flake and break. However, on the silicone tray, it won't. It'll just stay as a sheet. So at this point, you can either flatten it out or keep it clumped up. For the video at first, I tried keeping it in a ball, but then I flattened it out. So, and you can do this on wax paper, aluminum foil, just a tray. Silicone works best. Don't do this on wood. Marble works very great for this too. So I'm just gonna flatten this out. Oops, dropped my camera. Alright, so I'm just gonna flatten it out and then set it out to dry. There's different methods to dry this. The easiest is air dry. Just leave it out. You might want to cover it so it doesn't get all dusty. You could put it under the sun. That works even faster. So, or you could throw it into like an oven. Under the sun, it'll dry in like 2 hours. Air dry maybe like a day. And in the oven, depending on the temperature, it'll dry quick. I put mine in the oven the first time for 240 degrees. But in this video, I put it under the sun. As you can see, it's very sunny. Alright, so I moved the plastic inside after 2 hours, and this is the result. Since I didn't use a silicone cooking pad, it actually flaked off. But here we have like 1-inch flakes left. They really are plastic. Okay, let me clear this up real quick. Yeah, it's like actual plastic. I will make a YouTube video of how this would like work out in the ocean. But so far it's like super sturdy. It's actually really strong. It almost feels like silicone, like the caulk kind for window sealing after it's dry. So I do have another batch drying outside to see if I can get it to form like a sheet. But yeah, this is what it is. And I made some of these. This was half of today's batch in the video, and half of a batch I made like 3 days ago. As you can see, today's batch is a lot darker than the batch like a couple days ago. So I don't know if it'll go out completely clear, but yeah, here's the final result. I will also test the chemical resistance on it in a future video. Alright, so bioplastic is a type of plastic that is made from something biological instead of a petroleum product. Now, of all the bioplastics that you can make at home, there's a bunch of them. There's flubber, which I'm not really sure how it's made. There's something called milk plastic, which is basically just cheese where you mix warm milk and vinegar. Then there's a plastic that I made. And there's something called stovetop plastic, which I'm not sure what it is either. So I'll make sure to look into that. Alright, so bioplastics can be made from agricultural byproducts and other plant material, organic material. They're used to make plastic bottles and other containers using microorganisms. Common plastics such as fossil fuel plastics are derived from petroleum or natural gas. Production of such plastics tends to require more fossil fuels and to produce more greenhouse gases than the production of bio-based polymers, bioplastics. Some but not all bioplastics are designed to biodegrade. Biodegradable bioplastics can break down in either anaerobic or aerobic environments depending on how they're manufactured. Bioplastics can be composed of starches, cellulose, biopolymers, and a variety of other materials. Bioplastics started to get investigated in the early 1950s. In 2004, NEC developed a flame-retardant plastic, polylactic acid, without using toxic chemicals such as halogens and phosphorus compounds. In 2005, Fujitsu became one of the first technology companies to make personal computer cases from bioplastics. In 2007, Braskem of Brazil announced that it had developed a route to manufacture high-density polyethylene, HDPE, using ethylene derived from sugarcane.